What's happening, everybody? It is a pleasure to be back, especially after last night. Craziness. Let me welcome, before we bring in the man that is too sweet to be sour, let me welcome in our chat. Steve, Gianni, Maureen, BX, my brother. Maureen, how are you there? Gianni, what's up, Gianni? Dana, Maureen Frick, thank you, my dear. Frankie, OG Ruby in the house. Big Nicky, what's up, brother? Absolutely. Davey T from Boston, Davey. I got to give you a number. I got to give you mine. OG Ruby, I hope it's great to see you all the time when you pop in, Rube. That's it. I didn't want to take away. Once we bring Jimmy in, we'll get right to it. Valerie Brown, welcome to our community. I hope you enjoy your evening here tonight. We'll do our very best to see that you do. Roro G, how are you, babe? Cinnamon Girl, how are you, my love? And my man, Roy Munson, all the way from Ireland, flies in every Friday night to see the man of the hour that I'm about to bring to the stage. So without further ado, let me bring in my brother from another mother, Mr. James Monica. Am I getting better?
Yes, yeah, you're getting better, pal. You're getting better.
I'm working on it. Oh, yeah, a lot of work at home.
Yeah,
How are you, brother?
yeah. I'm good, Craig. How are you? How you feeling, buddy? I know you don't
I'm
you
doing good. We had a little. I don't want to take away. Last night, besides the StreamYard crap, Barbara, how are you? Man, I wasn't feeling good, and long story short, the wife, the kids, you gotta go get checked. And our good buddy Timmy Irish met me met me at the hospital like a kid, stayed with me the whole night. Thank God everything came back okay. They gave me 6 months to live. I couldn't pay the bill. They gave me another 6 months. Remember that
give you
one?
another
So
6 months, right?
yeah, right. Okay. Boom. So long story short, I got a clean bill of health. So in my mind, I'm probably good for the next 20 years. You know?
Okay.
So besides that, I'm doing good. I hope all is well on your side of the bridge.
Yes, everything is fine. Everything's fine.
Awesome. All right. So without
Nothing a
further
million
ado,
dollars, nothing $1 million wouldn't cure, but
yeah,
everything I'm doing
absolutely.
fine.
Absolutely. I would love to take these off, but I can't. Um, can I answer this, Jimmy? What happened
What's that?
was, I was getting a little lightheaded, and that went on for a couple of days. I wasn't telling nobody, and then I went to get out of bed yesterday, and my left foot was I couldn't walk. I couldn't put pressure on my left foot, so I didn't say nothing. Night came, and they thought maybe there was like a blood clot or something happening. Thank God,
Right.
I just got signed by the Giants. I'm good to go. Lori
There
Love,
you go.
you're the best, babe. Lori, number love. JJ Fedora, if you're watching, nothing but love to you. Without further ado, Jimmy, I want to get right into it. Duke, what's up, my brother? Are you ready for me tonight? Are you ready for me?
Yeah, I'm ready for you, brother. I think I can handle you.
I'm pumped up. I could not wait for tonight. All right. And by the looks of it, neither could the crowd. Our people. Here we go. Jim, for $50 million, what is the capital of New York?
Albany.
Very good. Would you like to go on to the next question.
Yes, yeah. Go on to the
All
next
right.
question.
All right, all bullshit aside, here we go. I'll after we're done chat, I'll get to everybody, but we're gonna get rolling now. Jimbo, I know a good part of the life. You know it from a much higher level, and there is levels, absolutely. But we've shared many stories about when you ran the unions, the labor union.
Right.
We talked about a lot of times, you spent at least 5, 6 nights a week out. You're always out of the house, eating the best, at the best places.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe our chat would like to know, where did you have like a regular spot? Like where'd you go in the city? Like what were some of the places?
Well, some of the places I would go to Le Cirque, the 21 Club. I'd go to Lello. Lello was another famous Italian restaurant, but the best Italian restaurant was at the time called Nanni Il Valetto. Nanni Il Valetto on East 61st Street between Lexington and Park Avenue. And you'll be in there a who's who of celebrities, and this is where I really got a chance to really enjoy myself, where I get a chance to schmooze with the best of them, and I wound up doing card tricks because little Nani, he was Luigi Nani was his last name, Nani, Luigi Nani, that was his name, Louis Nani. He was real small, and he says, Jim, I want you to show Don Antonio. He called Anthony Quinn Don Antonio. That's what he called him. So Anthony Quinn was there one night. There was many nights where I would be with celebrities and with Tony Bennett, Peggy Lee, Jermaine Jackson. Matter of fact, one night I was at the Morton Steakhouse, and I was with the group The Pretenders. Chrissy Hind is the female lead singer in the group The Pretenders, and we were eating at Morton's, and it was packed. The place was packed because this was a Sunday night, and they're open on Sundays because Sparks Steakhouse. I usually go to Sparks 3 times a week. I used to go there, so I had to go to Morton's because Sparks was closed on a Sunday. Anyway, it was really packed, and Chrissy Hind was in there, and she was with her lead guitarist, and they didn't have a seat for her. They didn't have a table for her, believe it or not. So she left out of frustration. She left, but I went outside and called her in. I let her sit with me, and then I started, having a good time. And then naturally the cards came out, and that's a real icebreaker with the card tricks that I do, and people enjoyed that just like I did with Anthony Quinn and with Tony Bennett and everybody else, because little Nani at Nanni Il Valetto used to want me to do that. Like the night when all the lawyers were there, when Joe Watts was there, Danny Marino was there, and a whole bunch of who's who of friends of ours were there, and the lawyers were like F. Lee Bailey, all big shots were there, Barry Slotnick, everybody. And I wound up entertaining that night. And naturally, I didn't get a tab because my tab was picked up. Joe paid my bill, which was nice. But I'm telling you, you have a real nice time. And how about the night I'm in Sparks and Nicolas Cage was there, and he was there with one of the Coppolas, one of the Brandos. It was one of the relatives with Marlon Brando, which was his cousin, because I think I'm sorry, one of the Coppola family. It was one of the Coppola families, because he was related. His real name when he first started out was Nicholas Coppola, like Francis Coppola,
right,
from the Godfather. But Nicolas Cage, this is just before he married Lisa Marie Presley, because she came in there the last minute to get him, and I wound up doing card tricks for her too. And he was at the table because all the waiters used to fight who was going to serve me, who was going to take care of me, because I tipped the best. I would tip at least 20%, if not 25%. Like one night, my bill with 5 of us went to eat, and I got everybody their own bottle of wine. Who had a 1958 Barolo grape? Who had a 1960 Barbaresco? I had a Chateau Lafite Rothschild, 1962 or whatever, and what it was, a Britannia Amarone. Amarone is a very good.
I had a friend that liked the Amarone. I'm not a big wine guy, but Amarone.
Britannia Amarone. This was 1964. The 64 was better than the 62, and the 62 was 2 years older, but yet the 64 was better. These are the years that I would have, and they'd be like $250, $300 a bottle. It didn't matter though, because I would enjoy. Because I was able to do that, because I ran the union. Because that night in particular, everybody got their own bottle of wine, and when it came time for the bill was $940. So the most of the money is spent on beverage, on wine, because the steaks were only like, it was like $40. This was like 1992, 94, right around there. The steaks were like $45 a piece, and you get a 4-pound lobster or a 5-pound lobster, but they don't hand you a nutcracker and a bib. No. Those waiters trained for 3 weeks before they even hit the floor. They take the lobster, and within 2 minutes they remove every bit of meat from it, all systematically, like clockwork. They remove all the white meat and take the red shells away, and then leave you with 2 little cups of drawn butter. And it was it's such a night to really remember. And the best tasting steak there was the sirloin, the most tastiest. It was so good. I mean, it'll be like maybe 3 inches high and about maybe 7 inches wide. And I'm telling you something, man, it's just something that I wanted. Again, I'd be there 3 times a week. Walter and Rami were the maitre d's there. They would wear tuxedos to seat you. And before they broke the wall down, they had a very small bar, a very small waiting area. Like a lot of times you would have to wait 45 minutes for a table, but I never waited, because I would give Walter and Rami, I'd give him $50. I just slap it in his hand, and within 2 minutes he'd say, "Jimmy, your table's ready." And I remember this woman said, "Jesus, we've been here 45 minutes. How come?" And I says, "Well, because I do what your husband doesn't do." I said, "I go in my pocket." That's what I told her.
The other guy had alligator arms.
Yeah, very short arms. They try to give a guy a tip, a hot $2. That's not gonna cut it in a place like that. You got to know how to spend it, and I knew how to spend it to enjoy yourself. You got to know how to enjoy it. That's one damn thing I know how to do. I know how to spend damn money. I burn money, but I got the best memories to go with it. And I did those memories when I was young, when I really enjoyed it. I had the youth. Because what good is it, let's say, if you hit the lottery when you're 75? Your prostate doesn't work. You can't fool around. You can't have any girls. You can't go crazy, right? What good is it having all the money? You got to have that when you're young. And God damn it, I had it when I was young, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself to the limit as far as dining, wine, women, and song. That's the name of the game. What else is there in this world?
Go ahead. Preach to the choir, baby. Come on, let them know.
Yeah, so like I said, celebrities I would always be with, like Bravo Johnny's was a restaurant. It was about 3 blocks away from Nanny of Valletto off of East 61st Street. Because Johnny was a big, boisterous, big Italian guy, but he used to be Nani's. He used to be the maitre d'. He would answer the phone. "Buonasera, good evening. This is Nani's, John speaking." But Johnny was his name, and he opened Bravo Johnny's. But I went there. I would figure that his food would have been comparable to Nanny's, because he was with Nanny for so long. Nanny had the best food. I mean, you have no idea what it was.
Yeah, it's like that.
But Bravo Johnny's wasn't as good as Nanny. And then Burt Young, my dear friend, when I would live in his house in Beverly Hills, every time I went to California, he opened up a restaurant also. I forget the darn name of the restaurant, but believe me, but it didn't have the merit that Nani Ovaletto had.
Really?
You know, but you have to enjoy yourself. Like I go to Le Cirque, Mario from Le Cirque. You're talking about places where you don't even ask what something costs. In other words, your waiter, you tell the waiter what you want to eat. You say, listen, make some suggestions. And the waiter says, I have a nice veal. I can put the little capers. I can do this and add this and that. And he makes it sound so delicious that you say, yeah, let me. And you don't ask how much it is.
No.
You don't even dare insult nobody by asking. You don't ask for a menu. You don't count. You don't bring a calculator with you. Wrong. You don't do that. You go there and you spend the money. That's the name of the game. The name of the game is to make the money and to spend it. And like I said, Craig, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
It's like Ralph Crandon. If I had it, they could have it.
They could have it. And then on the phone, and you're a bum.
But I got to tell you, my father told us young, very young, if you got to worry about what something costs, don't go. Meaning,
right.
You got to go buy a suit. Never ask how much. So if you taking whoever out to eat, and you got to worry about what's on the menu they might want, don't go. Don't embarrass yourself. And you brought up something that just hit home. It reminds me. You ever see the couples that you get like 4 or 5 couples, they go out to dinner, and at the table the bill comes and everybody's like throwing out, everybody's like counting money. What did you eat? What did you? So embarrassing. I would fucking hide under the table if anybody did that.
You understand? And then somebody's being real chintzy and they say, who ordered tax? Who ordered the tax? That's it. Who ordered the tax?
Oh my God!
Hey, I'll tell you another story. What happened? The only time I didn't give a tip was in this one place. I went to Il Villaggio. I went to there, which was on Route 17, and I think it's in Carlstadt, right behind the Meadowlands. And Il Villaggio is a real nice restaurant. Anyway, it was the winter time, and I brought about 8 people with me. So this particular night, again, I spent out. It wasn't as expensive as Sparks, but let's say it was $500-600. I had a lot of people with me or whatever, and I know how to tip. But there was this young girl. She really wasn't being attentive to the table. She wasn't being attentive. Wasn't would bring the wrong orders that should have been at another table. So I got so mad, and plus after having a little too much Amarone. What happened was that night, all I did was left $1 bill on the table, just to aggravate her. I left $1 bill on the table as if that was her tip. So what happened was we're putting our coats on as we're all leaving. There's 8 of us plus me. As we're putting our coats on, she comes over to try to embarrass me. She says, "Sir, you left this $1 on the table." I went, "Oh, I did? Oh, thank you." And I put it back in my inside pocket.
Jimmy, the restaurant things are incredible. I want to ask you if you ever heard of a place, because it could be around the times you were in the years you were very active in Manhattan, in the city. You ever hear of a place on the east side called Monte Carmela? Very small restaurant. I only asked you because I was brought there one night, and small. It was like on 83rd and 2nd. Unbelievable food. You would think like a little joint, maybe 5 tables. Unbelievable. But I just wanted to see if you heard it.
No. I didn't have to. There's a lot of places that are still underrated and they don't have any publicity, but they're very good also. And you can't go to every one. It's impossible. You know, there's like over 10,000 of them in Manhattan. I mean, come on, how many restaurants can you go to? But I'll tell you, but the ones that I would frequent, I would make sure I would go. Like when I would get extra truffles, when I would have truffle, Mario would give it to me at Le Cirque. You have to know how to schmooze, and you got the people have to like you. And again, it helps by being good and being generous and taking care of the staff. When you take care of the staff, the maitre d' and the waiters, you have even a better time. Trust me, you have a better time and a better memory.
Absolutely. And it does. It's true. Like, and it's true. When you're out like that, you do get to know the head maitre d', whoever's running the place, the owner, on a first name basis, and you're treated like gold. You are.
Sure.
Because you're spending, you're not asking, you're just spending, and you're treated like royalty. It's a fact. And
like about the wine, the way how I learned about wine was by going in my pocket. That's how I learned more about wine, by actually spending. Not, but then again, when I was young, I was about, oh gee, this is like 1982, around there. I think I'm 25 years old. For a short time, I was a chauffeur for these people, for these contractors that put up a bond, the bonding insurance, whenever they would put up a building. Let's say the cost of that building, they would put up a bond. Whereas, let's say if that building collapsed, they would have to be insured, the contractor, for building that building should it ever collapse one day. So I was the chauffeur for the guy that did the bonding. And let me tell you something, when you start hanging with the elite people and you start going to the good restaurants like David K's on 3rd Avenue, Sign of the Dove, you start going to Mr. Chow on 57th Street.
Yeah, the lobster roll.
You learn. Roll. Oh yeah, the lobster roll was at Billy Hong's. That's on 56th and 3rd. Billy Hong's was known for the lobster roll. Yep. That's who was known for the lobster roll. Billy Hong's. And Willie was the guy that ran the place. He was a big Chinaman, but you never saw a big Chinaman, but he was big.
No.
The French restaurant Chantilly was a good French restaurant also in Manhattan, one of the best. Giordano's near 9th Avenue was very good.
Very popular.
Rayo's is very good in Harlem. So there's a lot of places. But you have to know how to enjoy, though, Craig. You got to go out there and enjoy life. You got to do it. Otherwise, what good is living if you're gonna count pennies everywhere you're going? And you know it's ridiculous. What are you living for? When you're 80 years old, then you're finally gonna live.
Especially when it all could end with a knock on the door, or when they kick the door down.
That's what it was. When I was married the last time, the wife would tell me, listen, let's not go out tonight. I'll cook something. I says, no, we're going out again, because I knew sooner or later I was going to have to pay the check and go to jail for this good time I was having. So that's why I made sure that I enjoyed it, because I knew I was going to have to get the check and go to jail and get punished for all this good time, for all this easy money that I was making. But it wasn't that easy, because you have to have an art. I was a master negotiator. Nobody could get over like me.
How good?
Forget it.
How good? Really? Were you that good?
Yeah. I was good. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I agree. What I heard, yeah, pretty good. Better than pretty good. I'm going to transition a little. I know we hear his name a lot, and the chat knows so much of what you've done, different types of scores with Johnny Moose, but I want to ask you something about Johnny Moose, and it kind of it pertains to were there any scores, and because I know you did a lot of things with him, and you were close. Were there any scores and things you did with Johnny Moose where maybe it worked out, or it didn't work out, but you wound up with a problem that you didn't know was coming?
I can tell you
You like
one.
that one? That I
Yeah,
hate.
yeah, you got a good memory, Craig. I can tell you one that we had. This was with me, our friend, with his friend, the kid who's called Doc, like Dr. Doc. His name was Doc, and then Gussie. Gussie was a mercenary. He used to fight. He wound up going to Angola prison in Africa, in Angola, because he was fighting with blacks against blacks, because a mercenary is a soldier of fortune. In other words, he's a guy that'll go to war if you pay him. If you pay him to go to war, he'll fight against anything because he was a hell of a soldier. This kid was a Marine, but this kid went into he walked out of human shops and stayed alive. Gussie was something else, but we wound up going with Gussie, Doc, and Bobby, Johnny Moose's brother. We went down it didn't work out. That's why I could talk about it. It was a racquetball club we about to go burn down. It was for arson. And Johnny Moose, of course, doesn't do it the correct way. You see, whenever you do an arson job, the guy that wants it done, the way how you get paid is you get 10% of what the insurance pays them, and you get half up front. That's how it works. You get half in cash up front. So we were in there. We're in the car. We're going anyway. We wind up getting in there. What he does, he brings like this plastic garbage can, right? And it's filled. It was sealed tight, but it was all full of gasoline, and he had these timers on it. These timer effect with road flares that would have worked. When you hit one, and then it would burn down, and then you put, in other words, if you hit the road flare, you strike it, the road flare does that red flame, and if you put it down, and now you put the garbage can halfway on top, halfway down on the road flare. When the road flare, as it burns down, that's like a timer almost. As it burns down in half, all of a sudden, the plastic garbage can will start to melt, and then boosh, all the stuff will go anyway. But what happened was, he didn't do it the way I told him to do it. He does it with these wind-up timers or some bullshit he got. Anyway, what happens is it doesn't go off. The thing doesn't go off. So we're driving around, and then we see that the windows are all fogging up because the gasoline was causing like a condensation, and it was making the place, all moisture was setting in. So now he figures he's got to go in. Now we got to go back in there to remove everything because it's not going to work, or it didn't work. It was a failed mission. So he spills all the gas on himself. He's soaking wet. Meanwhile, I had to wind up taking Gussie's car because I had to use it as a crash car. See, when you're on a score, you got to use a crash car sometime. Let's say if the cops are coming with sirens and the red lights are going, you got to take your car and just run it right into the cop car as a diversion so the main car gets away. So I was driving that. Meanwhile, I'm watching his brother Bobby. He's driving over, and he went over an embankment. He went over a little island in the road. So damn obvious at 2 a.m. or whatever it was. And a cop, it made suspicion, for there was a cop waiting to catch people at traffic to go through lights, saw this, and he pulls them over. So then I see Johnny, so I'm pulled over like as if I was just driving around. I'm saying, no, well, he said, what do you want with these people? I said, no, that's a friend of mine. Anything I can do to help? Nothing. I hear Johnny Moose saying, I said, what are you doing back with the flashlight? They said, well, you're all wet. Well, why are you all wet? He goes, well, we were swimming. Well, that's it, swimming. Like, where the hell would you be swimming smelling like gasoline? Like, this is how crazy he was. I'm telling you. And then they wind up, everybody got locked up but me and Gussie, because Gussie wound up being the last one out, so he came in my car also. We just drove away, which was a godsend. And he wound up going to court. He had to go to court for it. He wound up losing the case, and he had to go away for like 3 years for attempted arson. But that was a score that didn't pan out too well. So,
I just know. I mean, I am so grateful that I now, which honestly I wasn't very versed in. I now have a full understanding if I want to set a place on fire, how to get it done the right way. And I want to thank you for teaching me and whoever. If shit needs to go down and we got to burn the joint out, now we know how to do it the right way.
Yeah. Again, you get the road flare. Strike the road flare, lay it on the ground, or lay it on the floor, and put the edge of the plastic can that's filled with gas halfway down the middle of the flare. As it burns down, the plastic will start to melt, and then whoosh. Or you can also fill the place with gas, and you get a rat. You soak them with lighter fluid, light them on fire, and the rat runs in the joint. He runs out feverishly, running out of pandemonium, and he sets the fire to the place on his own. Let the rat do it.
Let the rat do the work.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah, there you go. Or you even could get a light bulb. A light bulb. You make a little hole in a light bulb, and you fill that. You fill that with lighter fluid or something flammable, very flammable. You screw it in, and now when you have the gas on the floor, when you flip the switch on, it's going to blow. The light bulb is going to explode, and when it does, it's going to ignite right away because of the flammable stuff inside of the light bulb. There's so many ways you can do it.
All right. So light bulb, lighter fluid, rat. No, because I gotta get that away.
No, put that away.
I need to know where to get the supplies. Anyway, I love it. I love it.
First of all, we got to let the world, our viewers know that this is only for entertainment purposes.
And for laughs.
Do not try this at home. Do not try this at home.
At home for sure.
Right.
I think it's time. If anybody has anything, I have a couple already, questions they would like to ask, please put it in the box. And my man here will answer any question you have. And it could be about a person, maybe somebody he knows, doesn't know, but I guarantee you one thing, it will be the truth and an honest answer. So until that happens, let me give you two that were already given to me for you. And I'm so young that I wrote them down so I didn't forget them. One question I had for you was, in your opinion, the person said that you had made, it was stated because he's passed, and we know how, we're not, well, somebody's passed, we could talk about it. How do you feel, how did you get along with Jackie the Nose, and was he a true gentleman, and did you enjoy being with him? Even though New York, Jersey, he was ultimately a guy at one point that you answered to, correct?
Yes. He took care of everybody on the Jersey side. He was the guy. He was the man. And when I first met him, I liked his cologne. I said, what it was Jean Paul Gaultier cologne. It looks like a torso. It's the torso of a guy's body, and it's like a striped shirt going horizontally. These stripes are going on the torso. That's the bottle it comes in. And he says, "Come here." He says, "Come in. You want to know what I'm wearing?" So he started spraying it. Some of the spray went in my mouth, but I couldn't holler at him or nothing. Anyway, but I liked the smell of it because he was wearing it. But Jackie always was sharp dresser. Pardon me. Again, I'm still suffering, Craig.
No, it's all right.
Anyway, But Jackie was a hell of a man. He lived in Hillsdale, New Jersey. He resided in Jersey in Hillsdale,
Oh, yeah.
which is further up north on the Parkway, Garden State Parkway, all the way up north near the tip of Jersey. A hell of a guy, what a gentleman, a man's man. You know, I was so proud to be around such good quality men, and same thing for my dad too. You know, I was always around, raised right. I've been around legends. I've been around bosses, legends. I'm very fortunate, but I also knew how to act around them too.
Absolutely.
You can't be a dumb kid and say stupid things. And,
Thank you. I was going to ask you if you could touch on how are you supposed to act? You know, a lot of people might not know.
A lot of times you don't really say. You only speak when spoken to. You don't volunteer. This is what I was saying last week. When you make mistakes or something, you learn by your mistakes. Like one time I made a mistake when this other kid that we knew, he was an associate, and he was mad at somebody that was part of our entourage there, you know, with the construction business. And he said, "Oh yeah, well I want to go and get him. I want to go and take care of him and all that." So I was mad about that, and I was with my guy, and we were with Jackie, and I said, yeah, I said that the jerky kid, I said Joey was saying he wanted to get rid of so and so. So my guy might have opened up his eyes and said, "You ain't supposed to say that in front of him. Don't ever say that again." In other words, sometimes it's innocent, but you have to learn when you're not allowed to say certain things that could possibly, maybe even unknowingly, incriminate a bigger boss. You know what I mean? By saying something that could be misconstrued and misread. So you have to know how to speak. But a lot of times you learn by sometimes making a mistake. That's how you learn. That's why you don't speak unless spoken to.
Thank you very much. That was eloquently put. But I got to tell you, I've heard that phrase put exactly that way. Don't speak unless spoken to. And it was not just with wise guys, it was in general as a man, but especially in that world. And thank you for sharing that. That's a very important one, I believe. I have a question from Tracy. Tracy, thanks, hon. If a woman kisses a hand of a man, is that class of respect or not? Would a man take that the wrong way? A woman's kissing a man's hand.
No,
That's
something that it will be looked down upon. But in other words, another guy that would witness such a thing would say to the guy, "Well, what are you doing? You got girls kissing your hand like you're this king of the Romeos or something." You know what I mean? Like you don't do that. A girl is the one that you throw flowers at, that you speak well to. That's the prize of making the money. That's the prize at the end of the road, is having a nice home, having a nice wife, and somebody to share your life with. And women do not play a part in our business. They have no part of it, because if something goes wrong and they know, what do you expect? They're going to say something. They're not built to do the time. You know?
Yeah. Unfortunately, Jimmy, the more I and thank God, honestly, when I do watch YouTube, it's usually I'm watching some fighting stuff, or occasionally I'll see stuff, but because there are women that are claiming to be in the life, and actually, there's a woman that has a podcast, and I'm not, but
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
Came across. I never heard of him. I mean, wasn't around those.
It's ridiculous.
Anyway.
The only closest thing she might have had, she might have probably was bed down by a couple of wise guys, and that's the closest that she'll get to it.
That's the truth.
But that's so ridiculous. Nobody, no woman is gonna be no trusted soldier. No, it's impossible. It would never happen, and it could never happen. It would never happen. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, these shows must be really desperate to put somebody on like that, where they don't have enough people. Like you get these fraud gangsters that are on that tell these BS stories. I can't believe some of these nonsense stories that I hear. Like, it's ridiculous, because when you're in the game, you know how things go, and you know that it doesn't go that way. And as far as no, women are not used as, in other words, you don't get them involved in the business. That's bottom line. You don't. It just doesn't happen.
No. And it's
and hold on, that's to protect them. That's to protect them.
absolutely.
And to show a little homage and respect for the lady. You just let her be a lady. Let her just do her job as a lady. Be a lady.
That's right. I always told my wife, I love you to death. I do not love my gumata like I love you. She's nothing compared to you, baby. I would never say that.
No, you can't say that.
Actually, I might have had too many. But anyway, getting back to kind of moving on, I got a question for you. This comes from your friend Terry. Terry says, did you know, and I'm wondering if it's the same, I'm going to find out from you right now. Jimmy, did you know the Fees from Newark?
The who?
Fede. 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 Like Little Joe, but that was Defetti. Fede. Fede.
Oh, you talk about Fede.
Fede from Newark,
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, Jimmy Fede's my friend. Yeah.
There we go, Jimmy Fede.
Yeah.
You know him?
Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
All right, that's what Terry wanted to know. Did you know this gentleman?
Yeah, he did a lot of time, and then he's a hell of a man. He's one man that I really like, and I look up to him. He's a real good guy. Real good guy.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fede's a hell of a guy. Yeah.
A lot of time, Jimmy.
Yeah, he did a lot of time. Yeah.
All right, that one's done. Here's another one for you. This one comes in from. This was actually from Roy, our friend from Ireland, and he said there's a good chance he really wasn't sure if he wanted to ask it, but I said no, you ask it, of course, anything you want. Do you ever hear of the Greek? Somebody called the Greek Timo the Greek. You ever hear of somebody from Jersey, Timo the Greek?
No, Tino. You're talking about Tino.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I said I'll ask him.
You're talking about Tino Fiumoro. He passed away. He's real close. Yeah, no, he loved my father, and my father loved him. Tino did a lot of time too. He died. He died a couple of years ago. But Tino Fiumoro was hands down man's man. Hey, I remember one time there was a problem, and he went in there blessed, and he went in and took care of 3 of them, and came back, and then he ate a whole bowl of macaroni like it was nothing. And that's what he went away for. So that's why I can talk about it.
Absolutely.
But Tino passed away, and Tino loved my father. He's the one that said when he saw my father in the yard in Trenton, my father was only 20 years old. He said, "See that kid?" He said, "If somebody would have grabbed that kid now and put him under their wing, he'd be one of the best bosses they ever see in Jersey." That's what Tino said about my dad. He loved him so much.
I've heard, I cannot tell you, Jimmy. I've told you this over the phone. I cannot tell you how many freaking emails, comments I get on your dad, the juice man. It seemed like I'm talking about guys that were away with him that weren't in the life, and tell me straight up, I'm not Italian. I'm Irish. I'm this. I'm that. I knew Jews from here or there. What a man. I mean, nothing but great things I hear about your dad. I mean, not because you're here. It's a fact. That's all I hear. This one comes from Dana. Dana says, did you know the Kanachi from Newark? The last name Kanachi.
Kanaki? It's not
Kanaki.
No, name Kanachi.
Yeah,
I think you're saying.
yeah.
I again, there's a lot of times there's people I know by a nickname or just by sight.
Yeah.
I know them, but some people I don't even know their last name for years. I may not even know their last name unless it was spoken about. You know, like, see, when you're in the life, everybody knows everybody. Believe it when I tell you. When you're on the inside looking out, everybody has to know everybody. This way you don't make a wrong move, you don't make a beef with somebody else that'll bring you to the table and you'll lose a sit down. Because when two bosses sit down and talk, who's ever the guilty party is the one that suffers. Now, if you're really loved, it'll be a settlement, or it'll be just it could be a little less, less severe. But two bosses never give each other wrong. Whoever has to be the fall guy would be the fall guy. But the reason why you got to know what you're doing, you have to know where everybody, like there was times where a guy would mouth off, and he was mouthing off to me once, and I said, "Oh, stay in your lane." And he says, "There's a reason why I can't crack you in the mouth." I said, "Because there's going to be a problem for that. Because do your homework about me first before you keep talking. Find out who the hell you're talking about. Do your homework." That goes on a lot.
Absolutely.
But it only happens sometime under a bar atmosphere or something like that. But then again, when you're there already, you got an aura of self-confidence. You don't make mistakes like that. Like, that's something I would make a mistake like that when I was maybe 21 years old, but not now. I'm too smooth now.
Even now, you're just so smooth, bro. You're smooth, bro. I got one for you here. This was actually a comment.
Honey, put the air on.
Email. I think it's a New York guy. I'm not sure. Did you know of Joe Denti Sr.? Ever hear of the name? Joe Denti Sr. Yeah.
Sure, Joe Denton from the Bronx. Sure.
Yeah, from the Bronx.
Joe Pesci's around. That's who Joe Pesci is friendly with.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Joe Denti is the one that when Scorsese and De Niro went to his restaurant, they went there and they pulled out an old film that Joey did when he was young called Death Collector. And when they saw that movie, that's when they put him in Raging Bull as the brother of De Niro, of Jake LaMotta's brother. But it was Joe Denti was the one that made that marriage with Scorsese, De Niro, and Joe Pesci, because Joey's is around Joe Denti.
Never knew. Wow. Wow. Thank you for the education. I love that's wow. That's dropping a nugget. Let me see. Anybody else have any questions for Mr. G. Dimodica here? Anybody? I thought those were great questions. Really, honestly, I like that. Me personally, I like when people aren't afraid to ask, a question and mention a name that's no longer here, or that tells me they get it.
It also shows that I've been around.
Yeah. Well, I was going to get to that. It's going to also tell the people on YouTube that never cracked an egg. It just certifies that you never did nothing in your life. You don't know nothing about this life. You know what I mean? You don't know anybody. Here's a good one for you.
Well, I can never be as tough as Amish boy.
Right. Yeah. Impersonating a gangster. Yeah. I don't want you to ever get in trouble for impersonating that. Well, you had a great comment the other night. What was it? People should be locked up for what you say?
Well, them guys should be locked up for impersonating men.
That's even worse than gangster. Wow, locked up for impersonating a man. Woo! Boy, that's a bad charge. Here we go. This question comes from Craig Gatto, who's sitting right next to you.
Yes.
You ready? You ready?
Yes.
All right. It's not a ground ball, and it's not it's not going to be. I want to know about somebody you truly love that's not an obvious one. I know you loved CABERT. You had a special relationship with him. Little Sammy, obviously. Jackie. Is there someone that you can speak on due to not being here no more? That maybe somebody hasn't heard of in life, whether it's Jersey, New York, wherever, that you really thought highly of and had a special bond with? I know you knew many people.
Everybody that I've met, I always had a good rapport with, and I always had good friendships with. But there, as far as looking up to anybody in particular, it was always my dad, because my dad never went out and never like opened his mouth and was like a big mouth guy or tried to cause disruption somewhere. He always knew how to act. In other words, when he'd be out and let's say there's women at the table, he wouldn't even say a dirty joke in front of a woman. Absolutely. He'd be very, very classy, very nice, nothing to prove, but he can fill the bill as far as manhood goes. Because like everybody knows about CABERT. CABERT used to like to drink a lot, and he was a bad gambler. But you see, a lot of times they always would say, well, CABERT would need to get revved up or to do something, he would need a couple of special effects, a couple of shots first or whatever. My father never needed nothing. my father brought CABERT on his first thing when they were kids. Yeah. So, but I'm just saying, but as far as people don't even know the real facts about the Juice Man, to know there should be a movie someday about his exploits and what he did. And
because he wasn't only a law breaker, he was a law maker.
That's right. He also was a lawmaker in the Jersey Supreme Court, right? 1963. And there's something else he did too in Supreme Court, Jersey. I forget what that was. I'll find out. I'll tell you next week.
You have somebody here that I think you know a little bit, Mr. Larry Roller. Just wants everybody to know, Juicy was a real man's man.
That's right. That's right, Larry.
Larry
and I were talking last night. We were on the phone for a while.
Good to see Larry here. Larry, I watched you live the other night. I love that sweater you had on. It was like a zip-up orange. Beautiful. I loved it. I tried to tell you in the chat. I hope you saw it. I loved it. Loved it.
Nice color. Nice color.
No, you know which one? And it had the zip-up. Oh, just spot on.
Larry said a lot of nice, kind words about your show, Greg.
Really? Greg. Love you, Larry.
Yeah, he was bragging about the reality report and what we do. So it was very nice to Larry to do that.
Larry told me months ago, he told me like it, like you need to hear it, right? Like, don't tell me what I want to hear. Tell me what I need to hear. He told me, and I know he's still here. He said, Craig, I know you have a lot more emotion. When you're talking about your personal stuff in the street, let them know. Well, let them feel that emotion. Be you. Be your real. Show your real you. And lately, I've been showing my real. I'm an emotional guy. Some would say high strung. Some would say calm. Some would not calm, but you know, you know where you stand with me. You know what I mean? If there's an issue, you'll know it. If I love you, you know it. And that's the way it should be, I think. I don't know. Larry, we love you, bud. Jimmy, I know you're getting hungry, but before you go,
Oh, love you too, Larry.
yeah, absolutely. And Larry, you're doing good on the lives, bud. No doubt about that. Um, this is. Did you ever meet Frankie Loke? Frank Locasio? Did you ever meet him?
Yeah, and his son, son
Corey.
Sally too. Corey,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Just
Matter of fact, when I met them, we were at Billy Hong's. I was having dinner, and that's when I sent drinks over to the table. And at first, they turned around and looked because they were with two other people, and they looked at me like maybe what they think maybe I was a cop or something or whatever. So then I got up and I introduced myself and I said, "Well, we just met when Bobby CABERT's mother died. You came to the funeral parlor, and you met me with my father, Juice, yeah, or Vinny from Jersey. They say the Vinny from Jersey or Juice, they called him. And then they knew that. Then it was real nice and camaraderie. And they picked up my check too. But Frankie, Frankie, classy guy, and Tori was cool too.
Yeah, I later in life, being in the Bronx and stuff, Tori had whatever active. I got nothing to say. Whatever. Anyway, Duke, our friend Duke, that has served our country so very well. Just want you to know, Jimmy, thank you for sharing. Great as always. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Duke. You too.
I guess with that being said, is there any? Oh, Penn State guy had a question for you, Jimmy. How did you learn to own cards? Like what's? And I know we talked about the counting. I believe he just he must have saw videos. Here it is. I got it right here. How did Jimmy own the card tricks? Like, how did you master these tricks? How? Your mind, a photographic memory?
Well, you can see it on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. It says James Dimodica card magic, and you can watch it. It's an 11-minute video.
Yeah.
But I learned from books. In other words, books. There was the first book I got was called Basic Card Technique by Anthony Norman, and then Hubbard and Rogard and Hubbard or something was Expert Card Technique, and then I would get Darwin Ortiz, Derek Dingle, his name was. He was from England. This guy was, forget about it, one of the best with his hands. But then not only did I learn the tricks, like let's say I'll do a trick, it might take me a minute to do, and it's a knockout routine. That might be 13 pages. Is when you read it, it'll say right ring finger moves simultaneously with left middle finger as it's all detailed like that. And then you have to put it all together. And one of the moves might take you 6 months to master. So what I did was once I learned and I was good, very good with my hands, I went to the guys who wrote those books and paid them $50 an hour and sat with them. And that's how I learned, by sitting next to them and doing the tricks side by side. And that's how I learned. I can put myself with the best of them right now. I mean, I've been doing it since '76, and I've been doing it, over 40 years. My hands should be dipped in platinum. Forget about gold.
I love that one. It's on the monitor. It's no. This is somebody asking about Cash App. Gianni wants to know, Jimmy, did you know Angelo Prisco?
No, I didn't. I know who he is and
You
all
heard
that,
of
but
him?
I personally had no dealing with him. But I know exactly who. I never got a chance to be in his company. No, never got
All
a
right,
chance to.
gotcha. And
But
one, go ahead.
there's a kid named Pat Prisco who I was friendly with. He was a friend of mine. I don't know if he's related to him,
Right.
but Pat was my friend. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't about that, and you got to go. I got one more question for you, but um, Angelo's gone now, but he's a Harlem guy, and he grew up with a lot of people that I was related to, we're close with. But he's originally a Harlem guy. Then out to Jersey he went. You know. Anyway, Terry says Timmy from the First Ward. Did you know a Timmy from the First Ward? Any such thing
I knew a Timmy that was
besides Timmy?
Timmy 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 D'Amico, I think his name was. He became a cop. He was a DJ. That's the only Timmy I know. And he was a DJ for a long time, and then he
Timmy from
became
the
a
First
cop.
Ward, yeah. And then he
I
became
don't
a
know if
cop.
it's the same. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's the
well,
same Timmy.
Terry will definitely let us know. But
Okay.
besides that, I know what time it is. I'm gonna get hit with an overtime bill. I expect it. I want to thank you. Send me the bill. I'll pay the overtime rate. It's a pleasure and it's worth it. It's worth it. I know it's double time now, right? The new rule is your union.
Oh
It's
yeah,
double
yeah.
time. You get double, right? Not
Anything,
time and a half.
anything after 8:40, anything after 8:45 is double time, right?
All right. And does the steward got to get his too, or we're good? I just got to take care of you. That's it.
No, you're okay. I'll let you slide on that.
I love you, man. All right, Jim. I just want to tell you, as always, I love you, man, and everybody loves you. Tonight was 50 people or more in the chat. Incredible, great show, folks. If you thank you so much, whoever sent the Cash App, thank you so much. Thank you. Anybody that ever donates 10 cents, a penny, you'll see it will go towards giving you a better production here. I would love for the day when you guys tune in and we have what looks like a professional studio, from sound to site, everything. In time, that will happen one way
Yes.
or another. That being said, Jimbo, I love you, my brother.
Love you more, Craig.
All right. And the
And
chat,
and I'll talk to you later, and maybe she'll let you know about Timmy if I was correct or not.
all right, yeah, Terry will always come back with the answer, but that's great. I love you, man, and we'll definitely talk. You know that.
All righty.
All right, be well, my brother.
All right. Take care. Love you, pal.
Love you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Dimodica. But you know what, guys? If you want to stick around, maybe I figured I'll do some stand-up. You want me to? Let's go under the bridge. What do you say we go under the Brooklyn Bridge here? Get ready for this. Get out of here. We're going to take this guy. We're going to put him over here. Whoa, what the hell is going on here? Anyway, how was everybody? I hope everybody enjoyed tonight's show, or whatever word we're going to use for it. Yeah, show, right? It's a show. I want to mention nothing. Just let you guys know how we're growing, and I couldn't be happier with the growing like this. Like, it's crazy. Means the world to everybody that's involved. There's so many people involved. Like, you guys see my face on here. it's kind of, easy to just hit the live button and just talk. It is the easy part of it. For me, it is. Kind of therapy. I enjoy it. Um, there's so many people that help behind the scenes that help me with things that I am not good at. And there are many of them. Ask my wife, she'll tell you, or my mother. But there are many. And it could be an idea, it could be help getting somebody on this platform and speak to us. It could be you know what, I got the Brooklyn Bridge. They bought me the Brooklyn Bridge. Could be anything. Those people know who they are. They don't want me to say their names. That's just who they are. And I just wanted to say one other thing. Due to the fact that there was some cleanup needed, um, the the tour of me speaking on old issues is over. We're moving forward and onward. Done. No more reunion tours unless there's absolutely a need to come out and defend. And then that will happen, as was seen last night. Unfortunately, not only was I defended, we are a family. I might change the name again. I think we should. The reality report with Craig and his family. I think we might. Yeah. I think we'll do that. If you guys want to change the name to the reality report, onward and upward, amen. You know it. How does the reality report with Craig and family sound? If it's whack, tell me, or we keep it the same. I just need 2 thumbs up and we do it. If not, I'll know within the next 5 minutes. Besides that, we got. I would love to say some things we're going to have on here with us. Interviews. We got Danny. After that night, I want you guys to understand what happened Thursday. Thursday. So whoever was here Thursday night, Davey T, I love you so much, brother. I love I mean that. They're gonna say, "Oh, this guy loves everybody." Nah, when you act a certain way, I believe that needs to be. You need to let that person know you respect the shit out of that when they don't have to. That being said, thumbs up. Dana says thumbs up. Oh, we go. I love it. The reality report with Craig and crew. Ooh, that's 2 for Craig and crew. Nikki, Timmy Irish, Davey T, King Dom. Anybody want to throw in here? Cinnamon Girl, CG2, Jason. Everybody's got a wrench in here. If anybody doesn't have a wrench, let me know. Jojo, thank you for coming in, bud. I love you. Lori Love. Lori Love. I love you. How's that, Lori? JJ Fedora. If you come across this video, I want to thank you for your support. We support you and will always. I thank you for your support for this channel, show, whatever. I don't even know what to say. Craig and crew seems to be the way to go. Last night, I just wanted to tell you before, Lori Love, thank you so much. There's so much that goes on, Lori. As you know, I'm new, and as far as like getting really into it now, and I am. I love this. I enjoy it. So many people help and truly are selfless. They don't, no, Craig, do not mention my name. I don't want it said. Adamant about it. The Craig Crew report. All right, we'll take them all. We'll put it to a. We'll create the board of directors, and we'll roll with it. So me and Dan last night, last night are sitting and we go live and we think we're live and me and Danny are talking. Hold on a minute. Hey, everybody can watch, support whatever channel you support whoever you got to support. But when you're in this house, we ask for the respect because you're in here. What you do outside of this our show here, it's a reflection on, like, if I act like a moron and act up and get crazy, it's a reflection on me, not a reflection on any of you in here. So it's the same way. So we just ask. We're not just be respectful to each other in the chat. Anybody's got an issue with me? No problem. I'm not going away. But I think, the Gatto crew. Yeah, I like that one. So me and Dan are talking. We have no idea the power's out. We go on for 40 minutes. I look down. I see Joe Town Jack puts in a comment. That's all we could see. Boy, this is the longest 38-minute field goal ever. And I'm going, what the hell is going on? What are they talking about? And I see everybody in the chat not listening to this amazing story Dan is talking about. They're talking about rock bands. I'm going, what is going on? To myself. And then Dan says to me, he got a call from his wife. We don't see you guys. So basically, me and Dan had a 40-minute conversation. Now I know we basically had a dry run for Thursday night of next week, part 2. And now that I'm telling you folks, it's not, if you like football, it had, look, that was part 1. And even that, it was still about never quitting, never giving up. I'm telling you, Rudy, the movie Rudy, Invincible with the Vince Papale story, Danny Giancola, not because he's here. He told, you'll hear it, how many shows he's done. Many. Not because he came here. His story would put they're real, I get it. Rudy's based off an Invincible, Vince Papale, a real person, yes. Dan's story is up there and above for many reasons. And it's not to knock the other ones. This man deserves a movie, not to be on a podcast. I'm telling you. Part 2 is incredible. And it's about the life and the journey of the will to never quit. But this time, your life is on the line. And that's really it. I just wanted to tell you guys thank you for everything, for all the support as this channel grows. And it says we're growing shows, and that's great. We're grateful for it. We're grateful for every last person in here. Everybody should have a wrench. Everybody belongs to have a wrench. Until there's a reason to, we're not children. So everybody should have one. And if anybody does not have one, let the CEO, Timmy Irish, know. Nick, Davey, Joe Town Jack, whoever, let Cinnamon Girl let us know and we'll take care of it. Oh, here we go. Oh boy. Craig Gatto, born and raised in Queens. That's right, I am. Flushing, Queens to be exact. But some would say I was a Whitestone guy, College Point guy, because I bounced around New York. But I'm 100% Bronx guy. Ooh. Well, lived in the Bronx for about 14 years, right? 1551 Williamsbridge Road. And then, goddamn, we lived everywhere. We lived off Pelham Parkway. We lived near Mount St. Michael. Man, we were, oh, here we go. It's all right. Here we go. All right. I guess, BX, you're asking me what I think of Louie and Ernie's pizza. I put them up there with the best. But it's funny you said that. My son Antonio says to me today, I said, Antonio, you got to go to, we used to call it insult pie. Johnny's up in Mount Vernon, I believe it is. Right, guys? Anybody knows insult pie? And we call it insult because phenomenal pizza. BX, Timmy, Johnny's, is that in Mount Vernon? And we used to call it insult pie because it was the guy was miserable all the time. We go in there, break chops. We get 4 or 5 guys. We go in there. We would eat 2, 3. I mean, we would eat. Forget it, big guys. And he'd be screaming all the time. The phones would be ringing, and he was like, "Let the phones ring. Let them ring. Let them ring. Let them ring. I'm not answering the phone. Let it ring. Let it ring." And we'd be crying, laughing. Meanwhile, it was one of the guys calling just to break balls because his guy. But the pizza, phenomenal. But Louie and Ernie's, we're talking the Bronx, and I'll put Louie and Ernie's up with a lot of them, and most, no doubt. I'll tell you this. I'll start it right now. I'll set it off. I'm from Queens, right? Born and raised. Spent more years in Queens than I did in the Bronx. But I've said this. Louie and Ernie's, to me, there's only probably two or three good pizzerias in Queens. And Louie and Ernie's is better than both of them. Amore in Queens, I don't believe it's still good, great. I don't think it's what it was when Sal was there and Andy and those guys. Lucia in Main Street, it's good. Not the same when it was called Gloria's back in the day. Yeah, I eat pizza. I'm not a pizza connoisseur though. I know a little bit. Lori Love, talk to me. And where's your no Maddie? You're always giving me the New Park stuff. I had New Park a couple of times. One time I was too hammered to know how good it was, so I couldn't. I obviously everything's good when you're hammered, right? But yeah, New Park, yeah, it's got to be up there. But a crazy thing about, yes, Howard Beach is part of Queens, no doubt. But when you come from our side of Queens, which is like the most northern part of Queens, right? Especially College Point, Malba, in certain areas. I mean, we're right there, Bayside. So we're in the real north. I'm not going to start this whole shit about Howard Beach is more Brooklyn, or I'm just going to say it really touches more of that than we're real far. It's a big distance between where we're from to Howard Beach. So that's why, Maddie, I know that's where you're from, brother. So unless I was at a function at Russo's or Lenny's back in the day, I used to go to, or had to go see. I told you I had a friend in Breezy Point. I'd come back that way. Maybe I'd stop, but I didn't spend much time at all in Howard Beach outside, unless I've said that before. You guys don't have any other good ones. I know. I've done all the ones in Connecticut. Yeah, New Haven, Gianni. Gianni. Johnny. I know you're the true Goomba in the house, my brother. True Paisan here. Gianni, out of all of them, you got Pepe, right? You got Frank Pepe, right? And then you got, what's the other one? Sally Abitz, I think it's called. You got a few of them. I've had, right, Sally's. I've had like 2 or 3 of them because we were up there and whatever. So we just grabbed pies from all of them. You guys are going to get upset with me. But I got to say what I feel, okay? I'm not going to bullshit. But we're all different. Everybody's different. I wasn't blown away. I didn't say I didn't like it. I said I wasn't blown away. That's all. If you're going to tell me that's better than Patsy's in Harlem, I don't think so. That's my opinion, right? That's just my opinion. If you're going to tell me they're better than Louie and Ernie's, not for me, they're not. Don't get mad at me. That's just my opinion. We're all entitled to it. No, get mad. Let's fight over pizza now. You would think, though, honestly, you would think with Arthur Avenue, in my opinion, being the real Little Italy in New York City, the 5 boroughs, in my opinion, not even a question anymore, which is the true Little. For 100 years, it was in Manhattan, no doubt, and still is. That's more of a tourist attraction. I get it. Yeah, everybody's there. I get it. It's not close to what it was. Neither is Arthur, but Arthur is growing again. Arthur is growing again. And there's things you can get on Arthur Avenue you cannot get on Mulberry. I don't want to argue with nobody. But I'm going to say this. I'll knock my second home, the Bronx, for something that you would think there would be more of. You would think there'd be a lot more better pizza places than just Louie and Ernie's. There's a great one on Tremont Avenue called, I think it's called Tommy's. I'm not sure. I think it's Tommy's. And then, honestly, I'm sure there's other joints. I mean, it's not like I'm that guy, one bite, the rules. No. I'm just, all right, now we're talking. Bugatti ravioli. All right, now we're talking. Go ahead, now we're talking. Absolutely. And that's why I love Arthur Avenue, because it's still the old school way. You got to go here to get, whether you want ravioli, scavedillo, stuffed shells. You got to go over here to get mozzarella, maybe your olives. You go here to get maybe your cold cuts, your super salt, whatever you want. Then you got to go get your bread at another place. Then you got to go to which bakery you want. So it's like the old days. It wasn't one-stop shopping. You have many different places that you choose to go to. Like I love Dave's Deli in the market, but I go to Casa, the mozzarella, for a lot of things too. I'll go to Madonna for the olive bread. I'll go to Bugatti's for any sort of pasta. When it comes to bakeries, I think we've had this argument already. I like Sal and Don's on East Chester Road, Gun Hill, East Chester, Gun Hill. My wife likes Artuso. I don't dislike Artuso. I love Artuso's. I think for pastries, it's crazy. It's crazy. Everybody's got their own thing. But that's what I mean. It's old school. And you still got butchers. You go here for meat. You go here for fish. You go there for bread. Pick which bakery you want to go to. One better than the other. But again, you would think there'd be a lot more great pizzerias in the Bronx. And I can say, I don't know. I could think of two that are up there with everybody. Louie and Ernie, and I think it's Tommy's on Tremont Avenue. And I'm sure there's more, but I just don't know them. But those are the ones I know. All right, here we go. Myrtle Avenue, Corrado's on Myrtle Avenue. What is that, Ridgewood? Where on Myrtle? If you're saying it's good, I'll put it on the list. Put it on the list. I love it. Throw it out there. Let us know. No fly. Let us know, bro. Let us know. Absolutely. Penn State guy. Steamed pizzaiolo and gagoots. All right, Gianni, you hear that one, Gianni? I go down Art Avenue when my Bronx friends come to visit and we all go to eat. Where do you eat? Tell me where you go. What, like out for dinner? Where do you like to go? Rigoletto's, Dominic's, Enzo's, Mario's. Uh, you know, I had my favorite. When I went out to dinner, if I was going to stay in the Bronx, I if I was on Arthur, I would be Dominic's. Usually though, it wasn't. It was I'd eat in Enzo's or Joe and Joe, and there was another one up on East Chester Road called Fratelli's. Fratelli's, excellent. I don't even know if they're around no more. Enzo was a dear friend of mine, very dear, very. Yeah, yeah. No, no doubt. Excellent, excellent. Everybody's got their thing. When I first went to Dominic's to eat, I didn't like, and my friend, I just said I was close with Enzo. That was his father's place. So Timmy Irish likes Tony's. So Gianni, my first time taking my family, to Dominic's, I was taking the wife and the kids. Um, I didn't like the feel of sitting next to, honestly, people I don't know. And that's how Dominic's is. Everybody sits on a bench, like, you know, because it's the old school and no menu. The guy comes over and says, "All right, tonight we got stuffed artichokes and whatever they're making that night." Yeah, you could say, "Can you do me a favor, make me sausage and peppers?" And they'll make it, yeah. But I got over it quickly once I ate their food and antipasto, and I became a. And it wasn't because of my loyalty and my friendship with Enzo. It was just because I thought Dominance was that good. Yeah, it was like the long wooden tables, and they're like long wooden benches, not seats. Some tables had seats, but you'll be sitting next to you have like 8 people on one side, 8 people on the other. And yeah, you might have your 6 people, and then right next to you are 6 other people. You know what I mean? That you don't know. So if you're not used, and I wasn't used to that, but when you really sit down and eat, you really you conversate. You're with your people anyway. You're not really looking over. Hey, what does he got in his plate? Oh, that's calamari. I want no. You know what I mean? But I felt a little funny about that at first, but after you eat the food, you realize I got over that quick. Um, Rigoletto's excellent. It's hard to not really. I mean, it's just a matter of what you like. Like I love Joe and Joe's. I like Frankie and Johnny's, the Pines. I did because they give you so much. It's family style, so you get crazy amount of food. I I was partial to Joe and Joe's. I loved Anthony, the owner, Bobby, Tommy at the door. I was there a lot, but their food was great, in my opinion. Maybe not everybody else's. That's what makes the world go round. Frankie and Johnny's. That's right, the Pines. Freaking go there. Give me this and that. Give me meat, a fish, whatever, pasta. Right, Johnny? The bowls. I'm sure you mentioned it. If you feed an army, you ask for an empty pasta for 20. My God. King Dom got the cookies. All right. Absolutely. And then they opened the other one where I used to live. I lived right there where they opened the second one. I think it was on Sackett. Sackett? Yeah. Um, Good, just not as good as the one on what's that? Mars Park Avenue, maybe, right? Was that Bronxdale Avenue, maybe? The original? Yeah. You know what? Fourth generation, they're lucky because, you get in the food business, the bakeries, the bread. We're fortunate to have them because you got to pray. Like, if I had a bakery, that means my grandfather had it and I was wanted to keep it, right? Now I'd have to pray that one of my kids want it. And somewhere along the line, if somebody don't want it, that's when it goes. So a place like Borgatti's that's been around over 100 years, that's saying something, you know? That's saying something. It's saying, because you got to keep everybody, you got to pray a son or a daughter wants to keep the business going. They still want to make homemade pasta and they still make it the old way, freaking rolling it out. They're not using machines. So you got to, unbelievable. Absolutely. I'm sorry, yeah, I'm making myself hungry now. So actually, you know what I'm in the mood for? Frigate. Well, I'm making everybody hungry. You know what I could go for right now? Chicken cutlets, fresh mozzarella, broccoli rabe, cherry peppers on a nice piece of semolina, like not a sandwich, but yeah, sandwich, semolina with a little balsamic glaze. Sounds like a lot going on, but man. GDM, love you, babe. And I love the comment. It was great. Thank you for raising that bail money. Absolutely. Absolutely. Lori Love is in the house. Look at that. Maddie, I like it. How do you say Maddie, I wish I could hear you say it. How do you say it, Maddie? How does it sound? No, I don't. Let me hear. How do you say it? Come on, Maddie. Let them know. Gianni, you got to work with it. You got to work with them on it. All right. So before we go, I want to remind everybody we have a bet. I know he's ducking it. Tomorrow night, Tyson Fury is fighting this guy, Usyk. Timmy believes Usyk's going to win. Ruby, you might want to hear this, please, before you go. I'll say it quick. I have Fury. He has Usyk. As soon as the fight ends, 1 o'clock in the morning probably, I'm going live. Whoever loses has to sing a Neil Diamond song. So either Timmy's going to be singing at 1 a.m. or I am. After that fight ends, I'm going live and somebody's singing Neil Diamond song. Okay? And we cannot delete the video. It stays up forever. So either Timmy's singing or I am. Absolutely. Tyson Fury wins, Timmy sings. His guy wins, I'm singing. And if I start singing, I might not stop. You might get a whole album. Guys, be well, be safe. I'm telling you, 1 o'clock, if you see we're live, pay attention to it. I'll tell you what, I will put up a community post going live in 10 minutes. Whoever sees it, great. Whoever doesn't, you'll catch it on the replay. One of us singing. Gianni, love all you guys. Let me say it now. Gianni, Maddie, GM, Cinnamon Girl, Benny was earlier. Teresa Murphy. I want to get that whole. Teresa Murphy, the Penn State guy, Cinnamon Girl, King Dom. Teresa Murphy, mwah, and Charles the Doogie. King Dom, Timmy Irish, GDM, Gianni, my man. Timmy Irish again, OG Ruby always. Maureen Frick. Always a pleasure, Maureen. Nikki, BX, Lori Love, OG Ruby Almighty, King Dom, my guy, yo, this thing is flying. So many, no fly. Dana, I don't expect you guys to stay, but I gotta say goodnight to every last person. I feel it's important for me. I have to do it. Sorry. No fly zone, Boricua, Rican in the house. My wife's Boricua. Just to let you know, I don't want no issues, man. By the way, you gave us Corrado on Myrtle Avenue. Thank you. EX, thank you, pal. Matty Boy, my Penn State guy. Midwest Mobsters, I see you don't have a wrench. I'll take care of that. That's done. Lori Love, Davey T, Devil, Salerno, thank you. I hope everybody's wrenched up. Midwest, I told you, I'm sorry, it's a little bit tough, but you will have a wrench. That'll be taken care of pronto. Project DARPA in the house. Team Gotti. That's all good. Love it. Midwest Mobsters, again, I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Duke, Jason, Maureen Frick, Bob, Paul, Davey T from Boston, Nikki, Nick, I'll call you a little bit. Matty Boy, Timmy Irish, BX. You guys reach out anytime. You know that. I'll speak to you soon. Barbara, Jimmy DeMonica, Roro G. All love, Roro. Terry, thank you. Danny G and Cola. Danny, next week we'll have some fun. Dookie again. Thank you, Duke. My man from Ireland, Mr. Roy Munson, and he is from Ireland 100%. Terry. Roro G, so nice. Said it twice. Marta. Michael. My man Michael. Michael's a funny bastard. Michael Momil is funny as hell. Marta Fowler. Valerie Brown, welcome. Well, Larry Roller. All love, La. Welcome to the family. Joseph Gatto. Jojo, I love you, bud. Thanks for coming in. Seeing them tonight. Appreciate that, bud. I hope you laughed your balls off. Tracy Gamwell, thank you, Trace. Good to see you, as always. Jason, you should be wrenched up by now, Jason. I hope you are. I know I did it on the phone while we were on the air. I saw you didn't have a wrench. And I think if I missed anybody, Frankie just got home. So Frankie, thank you. Dean Du, Vito the Pitbull, always Dean Du, pleasure. Frankie Cheech, obviously. Danny G, always. I just want to make sure. Sorry, guys. If there's anybody I missed, send me the bill. I'll make it right. And it's important. Maureen Frick, absolutely. OG Ruby. Asada, my man. I'm sorry, brother. I'm glad you see it, so I go through it. Barbara Materna. And I think we did it. All right. And that'll wrap it up for tonight. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Remember, look out for the post. Somebody is going live. Somebody's singing, rather, after midnight tomorrow. And I'm confident it won't be me, but I'm also confident if I have to sing. I came back because I forgot to say something. I said, Joetown Jack, actually, Stevie, Joetown Jack says, he told me I better be warming up, getting ready to sing my song. Oh, Timmy said I came back to sing. Let me tell you something. I'm not worried about singing. I'm going to shock you if I have to sing. I'm going to surprise you. I'm telling you, I'm all right. I'm going to hold my own here. I'm not worried about it. But I'm also not worried because Timmy Irish is going to be singing because Tyson Fury is going to win. So I'm confident. Thank everybody. Joetown Jack, I'll even sing with headgear on, Davey. I will. Guys, we're going to do this again. I had to come back and say that. You guys are the best, no doubt, hands down. Tomorrow night, the post will go out 10 minutes before we go live. It's going to be late at night. Whoever's up and wants to see one of us make a fool of ourselves, you'll get a good laugh, I'm sure. And believe me, I know Timmy can't sing. He can't. I don't care what he tells you. Later, guys.